Okay, we're back with one of our Schneider Fit at-home workouts. Remember, 4 to 5 minutes to warm up ahead of time. Use the staircase in your house, go outside, walk or jog around the block, mimic a jump rope, whatever you have to do. 45 minutes, get that heart rate elevated. It's going to go a long way into prepping you for this workout. We actually do have a warm-up sequence that we're going to prescribe for this workout. It's a little bit longer. We want it to be more intense. Therefore, we should warm up a little longer. We're going to start with just 1 minute of arm circles. Really basic. You want to think about really long, straight arms locked out at the elbow and drawing it with the delts. At about the half-minute mark, you can just reverse direction. You can mess with the size of the circle. I like that small, tight, controlled. That's enough to get the blood flowing. From there, we're going to move into bent over IYT raises. We're going to go, so there's 3 different moves. The I first, which is straight up over the shoulders, thumbs lead the way. Second, we're going to bring them back down, go into a Y shape, a little wider than shoulder width. Thirdly, we're going to go out T-shaped. So thumbs lead the way in both directions. You go through this cycle 10 times, so you're doing each one 10 reps of each angle. Third exercise, we're going to move into what's called a hip airplane. So you can do this on your own. She's going to use this to balance. So this is kind of a regression of what we were going to show. So for the hip airplanes, if you need something to balance, a chair, your couch, whatever, coffee table, basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to rotate, open up that pelvis, and then squeeze back down across the working leg. So imagine that femur head up here, that ball and socket. We're just trying to get that hip to articulate over the top of that femur head. A lot of times when we're opening up the hips, we move the leg around. This is keeping the leg stationary, using the rest of the body, kind of digging out that socket a little bit. And our fourth warm-up exercise is the alternating pigeon stretch. So you're going to start down on all fours. Okay, taking one leg, extend it back, cross it over your bent leg, reach back into that hip. Okay, 3 or 4 seconds, long breath out every time. We're going to do each side 10 times. Might be beneficial to put padding underneath your knees, a rolled up towel or a pillow if you're doing it on a hard surface, just to make it a little bit easier on the body. Okay, so through that warm-up sequence, I'd go through it at least once, if not twice. Like I said, you're going to want to really be prepared. That'll lead to a more intense and more efficient workout. So moving into our first circuit, we have 4 exercises. The reps are kind of all over the place, so make sure you watch the workout through first and then plan your repetitions ahead of time. Maybe write it down or print out the workout. We're going to start from push-up position. This is going to be our first exercise. We're going to reach back to an alternating toe touch, driving the hips towards the ceiling so you get a big stretch on the hamstrings every time. If you want to add something to this, after every toe touch combo, you can drop it into a push-up. Okay, so toe touch, drop it into a push-up. That would be the advanced way to do it. If you don't want to do the push-up, you leave the push-up out. If the wrists are bothering you, you're having trouble staying up on the wrist, you can do that same exercise from the forearms, either on the floor. Okay, the hips won't go quite as high. You're still going to reach back for that toe. You won't get quite the same stretch, but if you wanted to, you can elevate your forearms up onto it, like your couch or a coffee table would work just fine. 20 repetitions of the toe touch, the optional 10 push-up after every toe touch there. From there, we're going to move into the Russian lean. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. Hopefully you have a partner. If not, we can find another way to do it. But for a Russian lean, you can use a hand towel at home. We're going to spike the toes to the floor. The towel goes right over the top of the Achilles. You have a slight flex at the hip. You're going to lean forward until you start to feel that tension in your hamstrings, which won't be very far. Just getting that chest out over your knees. Holding for 10 seconds, pulling back. Lean out again. We want 2 to 3 rounds of 10, or 2 to 3 sets of 10 seconds here back to back. The farther your chest gets forward, the more difficult it is. Remember that you want to leave a little bit of flex at that hip on every rep. Third exercise is we're going to do a drop lunge into rotation. Some people call them a reverse lunge. I call this a drop lunge. You're dropping into that front foot. We're going to rotate the torso over the top of the lunging leg. And we're looking for 8 to 12 repetitions on each leg. You can add a weight to this, just holding the weight at your chest. If you have a light weight, maybe extending it away from the chest, creating a longer lever, more work for the abdominals. You can do it without a weight though, just as easy. And then our fourth exercise for this circuit number 1 is the V-sit. So we're balancing on the sit bones. Okay, we're touching behind the ears, reaching out towards the ankles. We're doing this for 30 to 45 seconds. To make it more difficult, you just open up that V a little bit wider. You extend the hips, okay? You lean that upper body back a little bit farther, and that makes it a little bit tougher. But we're really working that intra-abdominal pressure, balance, stability, the hands in there just to make it a little bit more difficult. You can count reps for that as well. 30 to 45 seconds total. That's circuit number 1. So you're going to repeat that circuit 3 to 4 times, depending on the amount of time you have, how tired you are. Moving on to circuit number 2 now. So after we finish all of our rounds of circuit 1, we're moving into circuit 2. Also 4 exercises, some similar reps, but a little different format. The first exercise we're going to do is a lateral squat. So we're going to set up on wide stance. That's a lunge. We're going to just keep it as a squat. So you maintain that wide stance, sinking into your outside heel, pushing through that heel, squeezing the glute to come up into full extension. You want to add a little something to it. We're going to add, I'm going to have Whitney go ahead and face the camera again so you can see this extra little wrinkle into it, going to the right this time with. You're going to sit down into a full rep. We're going to add a half rep to it, back down, and then full rep to the top. So adding the half rep in there for a little bit of a progression to make it a little bit tougher. We're looking for 8 to 12 repetitions per leg. You can also add a weight holding it goblet style against the chest or down in between the legs if you've got it. Secondary exercise, we're going to get that heart rate up with some speed skaters or some lateral bounding, side-to-side jumping. Get the arms moving. You're looking for 3 to 4 feet in between each jump. If you're really good at it, feeling explosive, you can go out there a little bit wider. We're looking for 30 to 45 seconds of work here, or you can count reps. 30 reps is about 30 seconds. From there, we're going to go to a standing band or towel pull-apart row. Really basic exercise. You're going to pull that band apart. You're going to hinge forward at the waist just slightly. Okay, keeping constant tension on that band as you pull the elbows back, squeezing the shoulder blades. Another exercise that can be just done with a hand towel. The whole idea, though, is to keep that constant outward tension. So applying tension to the towel or band, you're going to feel it in between those shoulder blades. Keep that tension the entire time you're rowing the towel. So we've got that outward pull plus the rowing motion to get greater muscle activation. Looking for about 20 reps there. You can always do this as a bent over row with dumbbells as well. The band or towel adds another little bit to it. And then our fourth exercise for this round is going to be the Superman or Wonder Woman Y and T raise hold. So just like we warmed up, the thumbs are going to lead the way. Okay, we're going to concentrate more so on the upper body than the lower. And we're looking for 10-second holds. We're going to start in that Y shape, or just wider than shoulder width. Okay. After a 10 count hold there, we're going to move out into the T shape, raising the thumbs, hold for 10 seconds there. Then you'll go back to the Y shape, back to the T shape, alternate between the two. We're looking for 2 to 3 rounds of 10-second holds on each of those moves. That finishes out circuit number 2. 2 to 3 rounds through that circuit, maybe 3 or 4 rounds if you're really feeling good. That is the entire workout. You should feel pretty exhausted by the time you get through with that if you're intense the whole time. So that's another Schneider Fit at-home workout for you. Have fun with it.